Ladies and gentlemen, do I ever have a video for you? This is one of those ones as a channel that's built by the people for the people. This is a people video. This is a people question and answer video. This is something that I have seen. We're 6 months in now. Grant and Micah left Good 6 months ago. Well, we're coming up on the 6th month. We're about 5.5 months. That's a long amount of time. And since then, there have been a lot of questions around not only why did they leave Good, but was it really worth it? Was the leaving of this group to go and do all the things they said they were going to do? We're going to talk about what those things were, what things they have done, what things they haven't yet done. Was it worth it? This is something I see in their comment section, in my comment section. It's questions I get asked. It almost doesn't matter what the topic is. If they're involved in any way, there's always comments about like, was it really worth it? Did leave? We're going to try to answer that today. We're going to try and discuss that. So get in the comments on this one, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. This is going to be an interesting discussion. Hit that subscribe button, your last chance. I didn't know I was going to make a video this weekend. So Monday, I'm going to be announcing the winner of the Sunday Swagger giveaway. So be sure, hit that subscribe button. All you have to do is be subscribed. Their channel is also linked below. You can win a $150 gift card. So hit that button. So just about 6 months ago, we had the announcement from Good that Grant and Micah were leaving. The reasons stated by the guys haven't really evolved since that was first announced, right? When it was first announced, Micah had released basically 2 videos, Grant released 1, and since then, there hasn't really been much elaboration. We were all kind of speculating whether there would be more to come, whether there'd be more discussion about, reasons why and what their plans are, etc. What we basically had from each of the guys was, to me, a desire to have a bit more individualistic careers, to have, a bit more power in decision making in what they're doing, but also just to not be a part of this greater entity anymore. Now, my initial reaction was very shocked, for sure. Like, before I had ever met these guys, talked to these guys, whatever, biggest group in YouTube golf is Good. And you're a part of that. And you have a subsidiary channel that they are allowing you to create content on still. Why would you want to leave that? Why would you want to separate yourself from that channel? That was always my first reaction, my first question. But I think it was answered by both of them talking about the fact that they did want to pursue things on their own individual opportunities. So what were those opportunities? That was our next question. Well, it's been 6 months, and unless there's announcements coming that we aren't aware of that they haven't been teasing, a lot of what was coming after is already out. And really the biggest one is the TaylorMade announcement. That was really, I think, the big thing that they were doing sort of on their own. And that was joining Team TaylorMade versus joining Team Callaway. But that to me is a very sort of lateral decision. It's not really any more exciting or less exciting. It's just kind of the same, right? Joining Callaway with Good versus joining TaylorMade on your own, like, unless you genuinely love one brand more than the other, they still have a very, very similar deal, I'm assuming, with TaylorMade that they would have had with Good. Again, a bit more focused on them as individuals, but it's not like they had some PGA Tour partnership where they're going to get to, get special exemption from events, and, Micah can pursue his pro golf by getting, status on the Corn Ferry Tour granted by the PGA because they want the media hype from a YouTuber playing in it. Like, that to me is a very, I'm leaving to pursue individual things, individualistic benefits that's not tied to anything I could have even done with a group. The TaylorMade signing in and of itself is similar enough to the Callaway one. My point in saying all this and recapping is, the question I think now of the was it worth it, which is the one you guys are asking, are they really doing stuff that they feel like they could have been liberated from if they weren't with Good anymore? A lot of you like to point out that the content they produce is usually in unison, and it's true. If you go and look at Grant or Micah's channel, I would say at least 50% of their videos since they've left Good have been with each other. They've been making videos with each other. They've been collaborating with other channels like Bob Sports, like Busted Jack, like recently with Wesley and George Bryan. There's been a lot of collaborative group style content, and I think a lot of you see that and wonder why. Why would you have left Good if the bulk of your content was still going to be collaborative group style content? Now, in my opinion, I think despite all that, despite the similarity in content and the fact that they're still doing a lot of the same things, they do a lot of similar brand deals, I just think that they were both ready to move on. And I think regardless of what we can see from the outset, the worth it factor is something that they probably feel most in their day-to-day lives, in their individual lives. There was clearly something about the group style content, the traveling for the good weeks, the, likely not having a huge hand in decision making into what they were doing content wise and what was around them, whether that was a creative expression type thing or whether that was just hey, I don't love being told that I have to go to this place for a week and then I get a week off and then I have to go to this place for a week and whatever, and I yearn to just be able to make those decisions. Yes, the content does look similar. Yes, they're still traveling to make content, But at the end of the day, they and they alone are deciding when and where they go and what they do. And I think that freedom as a creator is something that is a huge benefit of having this job. You're really able to make your decisions. You want to do what's best for your audience, but on top of that, they're the only people you answer to. And so I think maybe there's a huge correlate for them of freedom with that. There's a lot of pointing towards Micah and the claim of the pro career and how that's not really, a focus of the channel anymore. But I mean, I've talked to him about this personally. He definitely is pursuing pro golf. It's a hard thing to make content on cyclically. It's a hard thing to post every single video from a tournament because you don't really play in that much tournaments, even if you're playing in a tournament weekend. Plus, he is still a YouTuber, and if he wants his YouTube channel to be successful and to stay alive, he has to keep posting YouTube type content, which is right now in the golf world, collaborative group style content is the mainstay. Every group in YouTube is doing it. And so the ability to just like go play in tournaments every weekend and only post those, I think he realizes that for the health of his channel, he can't just be doing that. And it also would get quite repetitive. So I think that's part of the reason why you maybe feel like you don't see it. But I know behind the scenes, he definitely is working towards that goal. Is that something he couldn't have achieved within, good, especially now seeing Garrett kind of taking a similar path, maybe not so much trying to get to like high level pro, but wants to get as good at golf as he can and all that stuff. And Matt Sharf is saying something. It seems like the thing to do right now, and Luke Kwan, he's supposed to break these 5 years, is your side quest as a YouTube golfer in a group is trying to get as good at golf as possible. We're seeing it time and time again with these guys. So yeah, he probably could have done it within the group. But again, I think it's just that level of freedom, that mindset of being released from the bonds of having to do these things that probably liberated these guys a little bit and definitely I think led to the decision to leave. So ultimately, was it worth it? From the outsider's perspective, because obviously unless they come out and say it, we don't know what they're saying. I think on the personal front, it probably was. I think they probably feel a level of freedom and a level of liberation and a feeling of control over the creative that they probably didn't feel. But from a content perspective and from a growth of, the channels and all that, I don't know. Like I've said this from the beginning, being attached to the biggest entity in golf, in the golf content world, other than Rick Shields, is good. Being attached to them is going to have a direct trickle-down effect to you and your channel. Was Grant and Micah so much a part of Good for so long that they've already saturated that, and now you can't really talk about Good without talking about them, and so they still get that trickle-down effect on their own channels? Perhaps. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But overall, I still struggle to see how the content could be elevated further by not being a part of Good than by being a part of Good. But that's just my opinion, and I've never been in that position, so it's hard for me to know exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that at least starts a conversation with you guys, because I know this is something I've seen in the comments. It's been super requested for me to talk about. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts. As always, drop yours in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.